This is going to be a different video from me, something I've never done before. I am going to do a video breakdown of one of my favourite movies, one of the movies that I've used a lot in my channel, Tim Burton's Batman 1989. So let's get into this video. The opening scene, we follow a family which we believe is the Waynes, and they go down the street. Obviously it's not the Waynes, as we find out later on, but as they go down the street, I noticed the guy here on the left. He reminds me straight away of Jack Napier. The fedora hat he's got on, the shape and the stance reminds me exactly of this stance here that he does in this scene when we first see him arrive to meet Eckhart. There's the hat and there's the look. Secondly, I'd like to add that this sign says no dumping garbage by law, and underneath we have a homeless man sitting next to the garbage. There again you see the mysterious figure just watching the family walk down the street. So as the thugs attack the man from behind, you see the thug actually drops his gun. Then in the next scene, he has a gun again. In this scene here, I thought it was noticeable that Batman on his Batarang had a rope. And then in this scene, no rope was shown. Also, I noticed the circles on Batman's gloves. It just reminded me of this scene from Batman Begins.
It's called memory cloth. Notice anything?
So as you can see, the circles are similar to the one that Fox had on his suit.
Regularly flexible, but put a current through it.
I wonder if that was picked up by Christopher Nolan when he was making his own movies. So in this scene here, we see Harvey Dent giving his speech, and then there's an empty chair here, which Bruce Wayne should be attending. But unfortunately, he's got more pressing matters to contend with. We cut to Jack Napier watching Harvey Dent make his speech. Now, I watched this on super slow motion, frame by frame, and when Harvey Dent is speaking, a camera takes a flash and only half of Harvey Dent's face is lit. And I think the way that half of his face is lit throughout the movie is a foreshadowing moment that he's actually going to become Two-Face. If we pause it here, when the punch bag hits the screen, only half his face is lit and only half his face is shown. Again, I think this is a great Easter egg for Harvey Dent. And again, in this scene here, only half of his face is visible. I mean, that's got to be intended by Tim Burton. So in this scene we see Alicia. We see her picking up a cover of Vogue, which actually the actress Jerry Hall, that's actually her playing Alicia, and she's actually on that cover. Also we see she's married. In this scene here, we get to hear the Joker's laugh for the first time. Then in this scene here, we see Knox going back to the press room. Bob, the cartoonist, has a drawing of a bat dressed as a man. And underneath on the left here, you can see that was actually drawn by Bob Kane. If you look carefully here, you can also see there's more bat symbols that's been drawn. Again, Harvey Dent's face is half lit and half in darkness. When Batman is gliding down to stop Napier from firing at Eckhart, you see there is no wire, but when he lands he hits his belt and you see a wire. Batman 89, the movie, was filmed in Pinewood Studios. Now, I never noticed this before, I don't know if anybody else has picked it up, but James Bond is famous for being filmed in Pinewood Studios, and Tim Burton obviously knew this. So when Jack Napier turns the gun on Batman, he does it exactly like James Bond. This is an example that I wanted to show you guys. So when Batman gets shot, you see Michael Keaton pull down the lever on his gauntlet, which then released the flashbang on the gauntlet. When Napier gets the glass in his face, you can see Jack Nicholson's blood pack flying in the air here. Also here, when Batman is dropping him into the acid, you can see Napier's hat flies into the acid too. And you see the scarring on Joker's face here. And this is the bit where you can see that Batman actually dropped him into the acid. It wasn't the other way around, Batman did let him go. Also, Tim Burton loves hands. The hand that rises from the acid, the hand that gives Vicky Vale a heart attack, and the hand at the end that Joker gives to Vicky Vale. When we see Jack Napier having surgery, when he leaves, we're led to believe that he has green hair and a white face because of the acid that he falls into. But watching it in slow motion, as he walks up the stairs, there's one split second where the light shines on his face and he has no green hair and no white makeup. So I thought I'd point that out. Not only does Tim Burton like hands, he loves feet. You see Bruce Wayne throwing Vicky Vale's shoe on the stairs. You also see Joker dropping Vicky Vale's shoe on the stairs in the church. There you see one shoe on the stair there, and another shoe on the stairs there as Batman's walking up to the church. When Joker throws the pen here, if you notice in the background, the audience changes. So there they are there, and there's the audience here. Two different audiences. Also, another thing I noticed was all the Joker goons have scarring on their face. Bob has scarring here on his cheek. And then the other goons have scarring here on his lip. He has a scar on his eye going down. He has 3 scars coming down. And this guy has a scar on his chin. And then this guy, well, he just has a tattoo. But still, they all have some sort of facial disfigurement or scarring. In this scene, we see the Joker was already planning to nerve gas the city. You can see him reading CIA files and DDID nerve gas files. Here, when Joker is introducing Brand X on the TV screen, Bruce Wayne is actually recording this and watching it. And here you see all the products that he uses. And that's how Batman figures out which products to avoid. You can see the 2 here in that shot. And then if you look here on Batman's table, there's the exact 2 products that we used. So that's how we figured out the formula. In this shot here, we see Bruce Wayne looking at mug photos of Napier. But if you look to the left, and if he had looked to the left, he would have found out that Napier killed his parents a lot earlier in the movie than the time that he actually finds out. See you around, kid. That means so much in this movie because their stories have been tied from the beginning to the end. From Bruce's childhood to Napier's adulthood.
Let's go, Jack! Come on, Jack, let's go!
Also here, if you look, when the Joker's destroying stuff in the museum, I've tried to zoom in on Bob the Goon. If you notice, he's writing everything down that the Joker is destroying. I never picked that up until I watched it in slow motion. But now I just think it's really funny that he's writing them down for some reason. If anybody knows why, let me know in the comments. Here you see the Joker's van, which was never ever used, but it was a great toy if you had one. But what I noticed here was, when I slowed it down, this guy, this extra, he picks up something and he throws it at the Joker's van, and then he looks at the camera. He's one pissed off extra. I love this scene here just purely because we get to see how Batman's grapple gun works. It slides from the back of his belt, then he shoots it, and then he attaches it to his belt as a lever, so that will hold his weight. Obviously it won't hold much more than his weight because it doesn't hold the 2 of them. Here in this scene we see Napier, he's not in acceptance of his new appearance and he smashes the mirror. Then all the mirror lands on the floor. Then in this scene we see the mirror is back on the table. So that was a little mistake there. Now when I watched this in slow motion, I never realised that if you zoom in you can actually see Bruce Wayne's face and the eye makeup, might I add. So he was the first, not Robert Pattinson. And Vicky Vale has actually got a picture of Batman without his mask. Batman obviously sees her put in the film down her top, and that's how he knows to take it to the Batcave to get that film back, because obviously he doesn't want his identity revealed. In this scene here we see Bruce Wayne's first realization that Jack Napier killed his parents.
Tell me something, my friend. You ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? What?
In another scene further on, you realise that Joker and Bruce actually go through a lot of the same things in this movie, and Joker actually says that too.
You killed my parents. What? What?
What? The Big Duke-a-roo. With me in one corner and in the other corner, the man who has brought real terror to Gotham City, Batman.
So I love how the Joker says the man who has brought real terror to Gotham City. Basically, if Batman hadn't made Joker, then Joker wouldn't be doing this to the city.
I'm gonna kill you.
You idiot! You made me, remember?
You dropped me into that vat of chemicals.
Joker uses the same face mask as the one that he gave Vicky in the museum, and that is Tim Burton's writing on the card. When Batman's collecting the Joker's balloons, I slowed it down and I noticed in the cockpit it says flight control manual, so that implies that Batman's Batwing also has automatic mode.
Mr. Fox, it's already been fixed. Software patch, 6 months ago.
Check the ID on the patch.
Bruce Wayne.
Another scene where the Joker's walking down from the cake, if you notice, a goon is used as a stepping stone, but the other goons, they have to climb down because they're not as important as the Joker. Here we see how much Batman and the Joker are alike. If you look at Batman's face, he has the exact same scar on one side as the Joker had. You get a better view of it here, and it just emphasizes the comparison of the two characters. In this scene, which I slowed down for you, you can notice the henchman has to press the button to eject his knives, ready to kill Batman. Now, if you watch it in proper motion, you don't actually notice this very well. This is another example of Batman and the Joker going through the same type of things in the movie. You see here Batman gets thrown through the wooden panel, and then you see here that the Joker gets thrown through the wooden panel too. So I thought this was really cool to show you guys. When I slowed it down, I noticed when he was falling down there, at the last minute his hand reaches out and catches the floorboards. So that's how he gets under, and that's how he fools the guard. Here when the Joker loses his teeth, you see he has no teeth here. And then in the next shot, he has teeth. So I never understood that. Here in the last scenes, you see a shot of the Joker standing. This is the only shot in the movie that is shot in a different colour scheme. And if you notice the Joker's costume, it looks exactly like Cesar Romero's. And then you can also see where maybe Joaquin Phoenix Joker got the idea. I mean, look at those colour schemes. It's the same colour. It's the same shot. It's just Tim Burton shot it in a different colour for about 5 seconds. As the Joker's flying away here, you can see he's attached to a ladder. You see the rope attached to his suit. When Batman's firing at the Joker, you see it attaches to this gargoyle here. And then when he's falling, you see Batman's batarang or bat rope go straight past the exact same gargoyle. It's the same gargoyle but from a different angle. In this final scene where the Joker's dead lying on the floor, you see all the broken stone around him. But you can also notice that Joker's leg is broke. If you look here, you see the bone in his trouser leg.
Please inform the citizens of Gotham that Gotham City has earned the rest from crime. But if the forces of evil should rise again to cast a shadow on the heart of the city.
If the forces of evil should rise again to cast a shadow on the heart of the city, that means more than just an ending. That is a foreshadowing moment of Two-Face for sure. And I thought I would end on that moment. Hope you enjoyed my video. Hope you enjoyed my view, and maybe you spotted things that you'd never seen before or you thought was cool. I know it's not perfect, but this was my first time at this, first attempt, and obviously I hope to improve as I go on. If you can give me some movie choices, I would love to go further into this. And please like, comment and subscribe. I look forward to hearing from you. Take care.